Hi everybody, I think I've gone live. Now I'm just fourth Facebook Live, so welcome if anybody here is joining me. I'm still a bit on the learning curve, but I'm getting better every time. So that's that 3 stages of learning that we are going through. So just while people come on board, we've got Shannon coming to join us. Hi Shannon. I haven't got glasses on. Yes, it's Shannon. So we're going to have some fun today there, just so that you know there is lots of stuff that is happening out in the planets. It is actually affecting us, especially us ladies. So if you're feeling a little bit more odd than you normally do, I mean, I'm reasonably odd most of the time. So hi Shannon, where are you from? She's going to tell me where you're from. I've got a map of the USA. So there is lots of planetary things happening. We all know that we get affected by the moon, and we are affected by things that are happening right now. So Pittsburgh, awesome, welcome. We've got some people from New Zealand coming on board. We've got somebody from Canada, and most of the people will probably be from the States. So it is your Thursday night, the 20th. It is my Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, so I've almost finished work and I can go and do some food shopping afterwards or something. So we've got Reverend, hi Barbara. So Barbara's come in from, Reverend Barbara, call her. She's come in from Canada. And Linda, whereabouts are you from? Welcome. We're just checking where everybody is from around the world, around the globe. I'm glad I know how to do this little bit on my Facebook now, and I can read it and I can type things in too later on. So while we're just waiting for others to come aboard, and I'll start in a moment, please make sure you've got a pen and paper, because I'm going to give you a quiz, and the quiz is really vital. It's the quiz that turned my life around 30 years ago. And also, it's great for you to be able to assess where you are and where you want to be. So that's what we're looking at doing as well. So, so make sure that you've got that with you. So what we're going to be doing today is rocking and rolling with the Self-Esteem Bizzo. And what I've got planned for you, we'll get rid of those pieces of paper. And for those of you who have seen my videos on my Success Attitude Movement page, you know I always have to have some notes and pieces of paper, because I am a speaker trainer. It's my personality. I actually talk quite a bit. So that's just who I am, and it's owning that as well. So Success Attitude Movement page goes with the Success Attitude here. And just explaining what that's all about, it's that if you've got something that's not feeling okay in your life, it's then keeping on going, looking for a solution. And Jill's joined us as well. Oh, Jill, whereabouts are you from? Can you type in there where you're from? So the success attitude is actually keeping on going until you've got a solution that works for you. Now, for all of us, there are probably half a dozen solutions to a problem. And for me, the success attitude is going until you've got the one that works for you, until the one that feels right. Now, we're not absolutely talking about feelings here. I think I've got a video about feelings. I'm not sure. I know I have it in my course where we go in depth about what our feelings mean to us. But when you feel good, that's kind of, you know, you're just about at your, oh, Jill's from Pennsylvania. Woohoo, welcome. We've got all the P's, Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania here tonight. Oh, my day. So that's what we're looking for, is to keep on going until you've actually found the solution for you. So, and there are, especially now with the internet, there's so many solutions and you can get lots of information. You can actually get bamboozled as well, but it's still about looking to see what feels right for you, but then actually taking action on it. And when we're looking about the law of attraction and manifesting something, so manifesting your dreams, getting yourself aligned for your dreams, it's about you've done all the work beforehand so that it's come into your life, And then once it's in your life, because you've done the actions beforehand, and once it's in your life, it's then taking action with what's happened and carrying on keeping it in your life, because otherwise it will slip out again. So if you think of, for example, if it's fitness, or if it's weight, or if it's starting a new business, or starting a new job, or starting some training, you decide you want to do it, you manifest it, you make it happen, and then you let it go and it slips away. So the success attitude is just keeping on, keeping on. Okay, so I want to share with you, first of all, we're going to start with a quote from this wonderful lady who I just think is amazing. And of course, it is from Oprah. And the quote is, self-esteem means knowing you are the dream. Now, what does that mean? That means that you are soul, heart, mind, and body, and you all combine going down the same road in your life and finding bits of you, aligning to bits of you, aligning to your dreams, aligning to what feels right for you, so that you are developing yourself. Your whole journey in life is to be the best version of yourself. Nobody else's. Everything that has happened before you came to this self-esteem and confidence live today has been a learning experience. Some of them will be great, and some of them might be crappy. Who have we got? Maria, hi, how are you? Where are you from? Type in where you're from, Maria. We're checking everyone's hometown. So the things that are good, you're enjoying, and as I said before, then it's keeping them in your life and developing them. The things that are crappy are your learning curves. And I'm going to share my story about how I even got on this journey. Ruth has joined us as well. Hi, Ruth. How I got on this journey of discovering that I had a self-esteem challenge to solve. So it was 32 years ago, yeah, when I had a home, beautiful home. I had some beautiful girls. Here's my beautiful girls way back then with my mum. They were about that old. And I didn't have to work. I had a new home. I had the girls, and everything should have been fine and dandy. I traveled around the world, and I'm an adventurer, but there was something that wasn't right. You know, there was just incongruency, but I didn't know what on earth it was. And so when I was learning, I decided, okay, I had my girls, I needed to learn how to be a parent, because I hadn't even changed nappies. I wasn't interested in kids, and suddenly I had two of my own. So I went and started doing what we call over here play centre training, or childcare training. And everything that I learned, I implemented. So it's like you have the learning and then you take action on it. And then also the one that turned my life around completely was the night that I went, we've got Laura, welcome. And then it was the self-esteem. I wanted to make sure that my girls had good self-esteem. Now, when we think of what self-esteem means, it's meaning a belief in ourselves, that we feel comfortable with ourselves, that we like ourselves, that we are true to ourselves. Now, to tell you the truth, I didn't really know all that back then. I just knew that something wasn't quite right with me, because I was showing everybody I was happy, and there were lots of wonderful things to be happy about, especially my beautiful daughters. But there were things that I wasn't happy about, and I didn't know why. And so at that self-esteem course I did that night, I discovered I had low self-esteem. And it was like, woo, my brain exploded. And it exploded because that answered a problem that I kind of had, but I didn't know that I was didn't know what the answer was. So, but it was like, oh my God, there was this huge thing. I've got low self-esteem. And I didn't even know. And we don't know, you know, unless Oprah's told us to do a quiz, or I'm going to get you to do a quiz in a wee while. So make sure you got your pen and paper ready. Unless we do a quiz, we don't really know. We might not feel okay. Generally, a lot of people don't feel comfortable get up and doing public speaking. If you're a peacock personality like me, you grow into it, you develop it, and you practice it, and you get better at it. But a lot of people would rather blim and die than do a public speaking course or do a public speaking because they don't know how to do it. And unless you choose to go and find an answer to what's wrong, like you don't feel okay, so you go looking for the answers, then you don't know you've got low self-esteem. So for me, absolutely mind-boggling. It's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm here to learn how to teach self-esteem to my children to make sure that they're going to be confident as they're growing up, because I was teaching them to think. I was teaching them to expand their horizons by trying things out. And that's how I parented, and I like parenting like that. And people used to think I had a child care centre because I had so many things outside for them to do. And they started cooking so young, and they're better cooks than me, right? That was how I wanted them to become. And they have become that. And so for me, it was like I've completed what prompted me to start my journey. Now I'm going to share some of the things that they've said, because this is how important it is if we are a parent, because we are the role model. First of all, it's important, really important for us. Our job is to be our best version of ourselves. That's why we're here on earth. And how do I find if a peacock or what? Oh, okay, that's another personality thing. That's in my course, Barbara. It's amazing. I love it. There's so much to do that you can learn about yourself with that. But you've got to do it for yourself, but you've also got to do it so that you're teaching it to your children. And I'm going to share some of these things because this is how important it was that I could live up to being a positive parent for them. Because when I became a single mum, I did it for my girls, because I was in a negative bullying relationship. And when you're getting bullied, you've got low self-esteem. And so I knew I had to create a more positive home for my girls. And so this is what one of them says. It is some of the things. You are doing so many great things, Mum, inspirational things, never give up. So that was kind of them saying, yeah, you're amazing and lucky. And we are lucky. We're lucky that you're our mum. And you are such an inspirational person, going after your dreams no matter what. You're a little crazy, but so am I. So that'll be right. That's my youngest daughter writing that one. But we want our children to grow up to be positive as well. And so we've actually got to become that person. And so that's why self-esteem is really so important. So if you are not okay with self-esteem, if you're not confident, then you are behind the 8 ball for everybody else that is confident. And so therefore the things that you do, you're not standing up for yourself. You're not creating new boundaries. You're not going after your dreams. You're creating somebody else's dreams. You're supporting everybody else, but don't value yourself enough to go after them. And that's one of the things that what's happened. I'm just looking here if I've got another quote here from Oprah, and it says, self-esteem comes from being able to define the world in your own terms. So what that means is like, well, what do you want? What do you want for your dreams? What are your dreams that are unfulfilled? You might be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, doesn't matter. They're unfulfilled dreams that you want to fulfill. So defining the world in your own terms, and then refusing to abide by the judgment of others. So the other people who want you to look after them, they're very happy for you to do them. The other people that are criticizing you, well, it's like, let them live their life. You live your life, let me live my life. So it's understanding that's where we're going with self-esteem, that you're comfortable to do that. So a couple of the other names for self-esteem, like self-confidence. If you're confident, then, and there's a whole lot of self-aware, self-love, self-worth, all these things sort of encompass this whole banner of self-esteem and being confident. So what I want to do is my quiz. You're going to love this, ladies. So get your pen and paper out. So what I want you to do is to write down 1 to 10. Now you can either write it horizontally on your page or vertically on your page. Okay? So horizontally or vertically, whatever works for you. Okay, so it's either going to be that way or it's going to be that way. Okay, I don't mind which one, whatever works for you. Now, every workshop that I've done for years and years and every class that I've taught, I have included this in my teaching because it's so vital, and I'll get another coloured pen here, it's so vital for people to understand that. So what I'm going to do is ask you 2 questions. Now, the first question, you're going to, oh, you can't see it in that colour pink highlighter. I'll go back into black. First question, you're going to put a circle around the number. So I'm going to ask a question, and I'm going to call out the numbers, and whichever number resonates for you, and your brain will go, oh yes, that's me, or you'll feel something within you, then I want you to put a circle around. And then quite quickly, I'm going to go into the next question. And the next question, I want you to do the square. Hold on, I'm going backwards here, the square. So the first question, you're going to do that. The second question, you're going to write a square around the number. So you need to have your piece of paper down on a piece of table so that you can draw on it. And your best answer is you being truthful for yourself, to yourself, for yourself, because this is where you gauge what you have to learn to be able to move on to where you are. Okay, so we're going to start with my famous quiz. I hope everybody ready? Yeah, Tracy's joined us. Everybody got your pen? Put your thumbs up, ladies, if you're ready, because I'm going to do a countdown in a minute. Got your pen and paper, got your numbers written down? I'm making an assumption that you have. Okay, so I'm going to remind you, 2 questions. First one, you're going to put a circle. Second one, you're going to put a square. Now, to do this, you need to put the pen that you were writing with in the opposite hand that you normally use. So if you're right-handed, you're going to write for the quiz in your left hand. If you're left-handed, you're going to write for the quiz, going to answer this in your right hand. And there's a reason for this, and I will explain it when we finish the quiz. So put your pen or pencil in the opposite hand that you normally write with. And I'm ready to ask the first question. So you're going to have a yes in your mind, you're going to have a feeling when I call out a number, and you put the circle around it. Let's go. Okay, so what is your present level of self-esteem? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put a circle around the number that resonated with you. And the second question, this time you're going to put a square around. Where would you like your self-esteem to be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Put a square around that number. Okay, now I would say that 99% of you will have 2 different numbers. I've only had, actually I don't even think I've had one person that's had the same number twice. Now I'm going to explain why I got you to do it with the opposite hand. Hi, Annette's joined us. You might have missed the quiz. We'll have to watch it in the replay. Sorry about that. But why I got you to write the numbers with the opposite hand to give you your true indication is that your logical brain So I ask a question and your logical brain comes up with, oh, I'm going to be an 8, because you can sort of anticipate what's happening. But what we want your soul or your spirit or your inner guidance to give you your real answer. So I wanted for you to be able to get from there is the answer that is within you, so that you are giving your true answer. Because our logical mind, we've got our emotions, our heart-based and soul emotions, and our logical mind and our ego will steer us on a false course. And so if we get our handwriting with the opposite hand, which I got you doing, you've got your brain working, how do I do a circle with this hand? Because I can do it easy with that hand. And so while that is busy, what comes from within you is your real answer. So that's why I got you to write with your opposite hand. So when I did this quiz 30 odd years ago, mine was -20. I could not even get, and I just went right haywire. And I tried to bring it up, and I actually couldn't. And that was quite bizarre, but it was like, oh no, I'm not, you know, and so it was a huge revelation for me. And I'll tell you why in a bit, but let's go back to the quiz. So your present level and your future level. So share what you've got. So Barbara has got 7 and a 10. So her present level is 7, and her desired level, where she wants to be, is a 10. Thank you for sharing, Barbara. And so what it is that from 7 to 10, that's the journey that you undertake. So that's your journey. And so therefore, those are the things that you have to do to move out of your comfort zone to bring your self-esteem up. And I'm going to talk about the traits of self-esteem in a moment. But it's like, mine was -20, now it's 10 out of 10. It drops every now and then because something happens, like we've had, you know, a little hiccup the last few days, and it goes boom, boom, and then I walk it out and go back up again. But your journey is to go on there. So when things aren't happening and you're not confident, it means because you've got some challenges with your self-esteem that you have to learn to have more confidence in yourself. You have to do things that are going to make you feel good, and we'll talk about some of those later on. So your present level and where you want to be, that is your journey. Does anyone else want to share what they've got? Okay, so first of all, that was really important, so you can see what you've got to fix. And you know the problem now. I mean, I knew the problem when I was at the session for my kids, learning how to give them self-esteem, and it was me. And how could I teach my children to have good, healthy self-esteem if I didn't have it? So I didn't actually go on this journey for myself initially. I went on this journey for my daughters, and on the way I found me. But it was what I call a critical turning point in my life. That saved my life. Because if I hadn't discovered that, I'm sure the universe would have sent other signs along to me, because that's what they do. I'd been a different place. But your self-esteem goes up and down. Yes, yep, Barb's got it there. It does, it goes up and down. So mine dipped a few days and then it came back again. So let's have a look at some of where's my piece of paper gone? Oh, hold on, I've lost it. I wrote the numbers on the back of it for you. So let's have a look at some of the self-esteem quotes, or self-esteem low self-esteem traits. Okay, so these are the traits of self-esteem. And then on the opposite of that is your traits of high self-esteem. So I have to put my glasses on, girls, because I've printed this out in small writing. Okay, so the 10 traits of low self-esteem is that you're unaware of your own abilities and don't know what you're good at. That was me once upon a time. The opposite of that, so if you've got high self-esteem, is that you know your strengths and weaknesses, and you've learned from workshops, books, courses, Oprah, me, everybody. You've learned what you were good at. And certainly that's what I teach, because I had to learn it first, otherwise I wouldn't know. The second trait of low self-esteem is that you're jealous, or people are jealous, overcritical of other people and trying to put them down. Now, that's bullying as well. Physical, spiritual, mental, and I'm missing one, emotional bullying as well. If people are putting you down, they are bullies. And we talked about that in the relationship live last week, about the lose-lose relationships. Now, the opposite of that for high self-esteem is that you feel admiration for successful people and read their biographies. So, you know, you go and look, and I always, to me, when I started this journey, I mean, Oprah, biggest teacher there is in the world, and the best. And, you know, I've read her book. I mean, I follow her. I listened to something on Facebook yesterday, half of a course that she an interview. So when you've got healthy self-esteem, you're looking to learn from other people. And that was my thing. I always think, well, if other people can do it, well, why can't I? They did. So if they can, I can too. The third trait of low self-esteem is you set unrealistic goals or no goals at all. So an unrealistic goal is like, I want to be a millionaire, or I want to have this, or I want to do this, or whatever. And it's totally, now I'm going to rephrase that. So I want to be a millionaire, or I want to win the lotto by the end of the year. Probably not going to happen, but there's no reason that you can't be a millionaire in 10 years' time or 5 years' time. So it's a goal that has to be something that you're working towards, or you haven't got a goal. And if you've got no goal, you're just going round and round in a circle, milling around in life, kind of at a point saying, well, what do I do? Don't know what I'm doing, just no goals, living day to day, life's a drudge. The trait of high self-esteem, the opposite of that, is that you set personal and professional goals, short-term and long-term. So what that's meaning is that you have, and the more you are on your path to be yourself, because there's, you know, you're the only one that's got your fingerprint, so you're unique in the world, the more that you are aligned to you, not to align to your family or your siblings or your mother or your father or your partner or whatever, or doing what everyone else says, then you're living their journey and you don't know what to do. The more that you've decided, this is what I want for me, this is who I am, these are my gifts and talents, this is what I can bring to the world, this makes me happy, then the better the goals are going to be, because the goals are going to be aligned to who you are. So I'm a sailor. If anyone saw me at the beach, that saw the photo up on the page this morning, that was me doing a bit of Tai Chi down on the beach. Absolutely brilliant. I've been for another beach walk today. So for me, a goal is to sail around the world, you know, to sail the Mediterranean, you know, to sail in the Caribbean. So those are goals that align to me. Now, if you're not a sailor, that's not going to mean anything to you. So your goals have to align to you, and that's what you're going to look at. That's why I do this. I've got my Positively You Confident Successful Living course, because that's you learning who you are and aligning to you, and you set your goals to do that. Okay, so let's have a look at the fourth trait of low self-esteem. Establishes competitive relationships. So that's the bullying that we're talking about before, or either you are being bullied, or generally mostly what's happened for most women is that the woman is the victim and is being bullied. We love men, but often they are the bullies. Not always though, not always. The opposite of that with high self-esteem is that you establish harmonious relationships. So if we go back to what I talked about last week I talked about the relationship scenarios: lose, lose, win, lose, lose, win, and win, win. Any of those lose ones are low self-esteem. Any of the wins in the relationship scenarios are high self-esteem. Okay, right, let's moving right along. The fifth trait, blames others and tries to make other people feel guilty. The opposite of that is, for high self-esteem, is takes responsibility for their actions, okay with mistakes, and learn the lessons. Now, I've made thousands upon thousands upon thousands of mistakes. My head's going a bit crooked. And the reason that they are so fantastic to make is because you learn from them. So my situation that I've had in the last few days blew me away, and I didn't know how to fix it. So on that way, the last 3 days, I was trying something that I had a little bit of experience in, and a few things worked, and bit by bit I started to feel better, and then I got some help, and I felt better and better and better until the problem was solved. Because when we're trying something, when we're looking for a solution, we've got to keep on going until we've actually got to the end of it. So the mistake that I probably, maybe I didn't make it, I was being friendly and helpful, and then somebody overstepped the mark. So from my perspective, what I did was okay. From what the other person's perspective wasn't okay. But then I had to solve it so that I became empowered again. Because when you've got low self-esteem, you're unempowered. When you've got high self-esteem, you're empowered. Okay, we're number 6, I think, 4 traits of low self-esteem. Do not understand their feelings and how to express them. I do all that in my course. It is amazing. And the high self-esteem is expresses their wants and needs and knows their likes and dislikes. So that you understand what's happening to you and can express it assertively, not by putting somebody else down or aggressively, but being able to express in assertive communication what's happening for you. And so that's a learning curve, how to be able to express like that as well, because there's passive aggressive and assertive communication. And when we are in a lose-lose relationship, we've got no low self-esteem, we are passive or we are aggressive. And when we're in any of those win-win situations, relationships, we are communicating assertively. So you've got to learn how to be able to do that. The next trait of low self-esteem is can't set healthy boundaries. They say yes instead when they need to say no. And let me assure you, the 2 hardest words for people with low self-esteem is an I statement and saying the word no. And with those 2 words, you actually start to create new boundaries in your life. And so the people that encroach over you all the way, you start saying, well, no, that doesn't work for me, and you create new boundaries. So on the opposite side of that, high self-esteem knows how to set limits firmly and with care, and not afraid to lead their own life. So that's knowing what they want and being able to use the correct terminology to be able to create that. Number 8, I think we're up to, low traits of low self-esteem, is afraid of making mistakes, so they don't try anything new. And I said how many thousands I've made. And the opposite of that is that they're willing to make mistakes, they express themselves, and they communicate assertively. So they are actually saying what they want. If they've not got it right the first time, they'll go looking for answers. Number 9 of low self-esteem, copies or imitates others instead of learning to be themselves. Now, it's okay to try to do that while you're working out who you are, but in the end, it's like, this is your fingerprint. There's only you in the world, and your job is to find out and be that person and bring that best person to the world. The opposite of that in high self-esteem is a positive thinker, focuses on good, enjoys mental, physical, and a spiritual life. So we've been able to combine that, all those parts of ourselves. The number 10th trait of low self-esteem. Ladies, before I give it to you, I'm going to ask you a question. Are you enjoying this? Put something in the comment, let me know. Is this helping you to understand these? Because I need a drink of water. Oh gosh, nobody's answering. Maybe this isn't helpful. I was hoping it would be, because I teach this so many times to people. So many times to people. And everyone has said this, and the personalities and another couple of things are so vital to them. Now, if it resonates with you and you think, oh my God, that's who I am, by saying, yes, this is helpful. I'm not going to call your name out, so don't worry about that. Saying that this is helpful is you actually now just starting to empower yourself. So it's now, oh, okay, now I know where I am, and now I'm going to start learning a little bit about me. And being too afraid to not do that means you're stuck in your little cocoon. What we're wanting to do is you to start moving outside of your cocoon. So I'm going to come back with trait number 10. I'm going to put it down later on and see if I'm checking you ladies. This is what I do as a teacher. I make sure that people have learned things. So the 10th trait will be coming up before the end of the course. Please remind me if I forget. Okay. So remember, what we are wanting to do with all of this is make our dreams come true. And to make our dreams come true, we've got to be confident enough to be able to go out and discover what our dream is, to let go of things so that we can embrace new things. So when you have not got the confidence to be able to do that, these are some of the things that you're going to miss out on in life. Taking time to get from, it says taking time to get from Canada. Thank you. Okay, so 10 things you're going to miss out in life if you don't start to improve your self-esteem. Okay. You don't save your time because you're not creating boundaries so that you've got time for yourself. You're not saving the money because you just might be spending money on things that are doing for other people. And certainly, I mean, if you're a mother and family, you've got things to do, but actually doing things for yourself as well. You are involved in some emotional or physical pain that's happening because you're not, like, there's an essence of you that's not being true to yourself, like when we don't feel like, even yesterday when I knew something wasn't right and I had to find an answer for it. Now there's another thing that you miss out, and that's you're missing out on you. You're missing out on being the best version of you. You're missing out on buying the clothes you want, living the life you want, the food you want, and actually embracing how wonderful you are. You're missing out on love, and that's self-love is the most important thing, because you actually don't value yourself enough to be able to go out and do these things. And let me assure you, it is a journey, and it's a learning curve. You know, I was proud of what I did yesterday. It was pretty damn hard. And it's pushed some buttons of people, but it's been done, and I'm back true to myself. And so that's what being empowered and having high self-esteem is about. Okay, so your relationships, which we talked about in the last live, you don't have win-win relationships. You have it where you're not feeling okay. Maybe you're the victim. Maybe you're getting abused. Maybe if you're getting physical bullying, anybody at all, go and get some help. Go to your church and get some help wherever. Just get help if that's happening. So number 7, things that, so you can become like a hoarder. You've got a whole lot of stuff around you, and Oprah and everyone says is that when you're stuck, have a clean out of your wardrobe. Get rid of stuff, because what happens is we just pile stuff on and on and on in our life, and we've got so much stuff around us that we can't create a space for something else, and that's what we've got to do. Your health suffers if you are not being true to yourself, because you're actually internalizing everything. You're internalizing your pain, and when you internalize pain, that's when your health deteriorates, because energy has got stuck in your body, negative energy. It's got stuck in there. What we're wanting to do is release it and let it go, and then fill your body up with positive energy. Number 9, things when you've got low self-esteem and you're not being your best version or working towards it, you're kind of avoiding areas. So you're staying in your comfort zone. In your comfort zone, you just go round and round and round and round and don't learn anything new. And you're comfortable, but you're uncomfortable because you're not being happy. And maybe the last one I wanted to pick up on there was that you're not making the money. Haven't got the promotion. You haven't had the courage to go for the new job. Oh, it's hot in here today. It's summer over here, ladies. that you haven't got the courage to go for the job, the promotion, and so you're actually not making the money that you are capable of having. And you don't go outside your comfort zone because you're frightened of that. So is self-esteem important? Absolutely. Is confidence important? Absolutely, because you're not going to be able to create your dreams. Now, talking about comfort zone, just a couple more things that I wanted to share with you. I'm going to share so one of the ladies, we had a testimonial from one of the ladies, Lynn Marie, on my Facebook page a couple of days ago. And we had just done this same exercise in the course. And this is what she wrote when she had just done that exercise. She said, lots of things. After last night's session, I felt energized again. That exercise on confidence and rating my confidence blew me away. Aha, she says, an aha moment indeed. I was trapped and stuck before this course, but now I am beginning to feel like I'm swimming to the surface from the depths of an ocean, and I have released the ball and chain that held me on the ocean bed. And then thank you, Janice, again. So when we look at the importance of that, understanding our self-esteem and then wanting and being ready to build up, and knowing what you have to do, because you can go off and do things that aren't actually aligned to you, you know, and yes, we've all had a past, and there may be some things in there that are very hurtful and painful, and some things it's about forgiving them and releasing them. But mainly you want to be focusing on going forward, not about everything that's happening in your past. It's like, I want to get fit, I want to lose weight, I want to get a new job. So you're focusing forward instead of backwards. So that was from Lynn when she did that exercise, and the testimonial for the rest of what the course she gave me at the end is on the Success Attitude Movement page as well. So I just want to talk about when your self-esteem is developing, growing, getting bigger, and outside your comfort zone. So many years ago, I wrote, well, actually, yes, it was kind of channeled to me in a way, my first book, Sailing a Different Course. Now, I'm a sailor, I've already told you that. So in here, there is a whole lot of poems that ideas came to me. And I added it up with other bits and pieces. And so even at this little age here, this is in my book, I don't know if you can see it all the way over in Canada, there's on top of a whole lot of boats, me sitting up on top of there with my captain's hat on, or a hat and a life jacket. So when I first wrote the book, and I remember when I got the first copy of it, and I was had it on the ironing board and the thing, and I burst into tears. Now, the reason I think that I burst into tears was it's like, oh my God, I've done it. But also now I'm putting myself out there to the world. And so that was the first time that I had written that. So way out of my comfort zone. Now we talk about the success attitude. Okay, so that's my book now, way, way out of my comfort zone. So for those of you that have been listening on my page, you'll probably gather that I'm very spiritual and I'm guided. I get nudged, and I tell you when I'm nudged to put something up on the page. So when this comes out as a movie, there's going to be things in there that people aren't going to believe, but they really happened. And so it's like having the confidence to be able to say to people, well, this is my life, it's not their life, and they won't believe some of the things, and some of them are quite unusual. But having the confidence to be able to say that, and that's what we're looking for you to do, that you know, you're not going to probably write a book or do what I've done. Your life journey is different, but you're going on that journey to do it. So kind of that's what we're looking for in life, for you to get on to that journey. And here's another quote here from Oprah, and says, don't back down just to keep the peace. Standing up for your beliefs builds self-confidence and self-esteem. Now, who better would know than Oprah? Who better? So when we're looking at who are you, what's your journey in life, where are you now, and you realize that it's time to make take some action, it's moving out of your comfort zone. It's starting to value yourself. It's starting to think, well, I'm worthy of living the best life that I can. And there may be some area, because there's six areas in life that we focus on. There may be some areas that are great, but there may be some areas that are not okay. And then what you're wanting to do is to get them all congruent and working up towards to be the best version of yourself. So if you are ready to kind of move out of your comfort zone, I'm going to give you my last tip in a minute. I'm going to give you, just going to tell you what. So if you're ready, I've got success strategy calls. Now, why they're important is because I help you clarify your goals. Now, even sometimes you don't, my job is that I listen to people and I give people advice, obviously, but I can hear what people are saying. I can see people by the clothes they wear and their mannerisms and as to where they are in life, and I can listen and be able to clarify things that you may not be sure of yourself. And that's a skill that I've got. I've learned to have it. So if you're ready to do that, I have got success strategy calls. They're 45 minutes. They're free. We do that. We look at your goals. We look at your biggest challenge. And for a lot of people, it's having the confidence to go on their own journey. And then it's the beliefs from the past. What's happened in the past? Something, a childhood unconscious belief there that you're no good and you're not worthy and all this sort of stuff, or that, you know, you're looking after everybody. But in the end, it's your life and you've got to make that decision. So to me, self-esteem and confidence is the most important thing, because I could not have achieved what I've achieved and what I'm still looking to. Oops, my necklace has gone wonky. And what I'm looking to achieve when I bring this movie to the world if I didn't believe in myself. It started 30 years ago. It started because I wanted to be a good mum. And, you know, what a blessing in disguise that I've learned how to do it. So for you ladies that are listening, if you are ready, I'll put the link down for the quote in a moment. But what, not for quote, for the success strategy call if you're ready. But what I'm going to leave you with is the last trait of low self-esteem and the last trait of high self-esteem. And then if you've got any questions, please put them in there so that I can get them from you. So, trait number 10 of low self-esteem is a negative thinker. Been there, done that. Has a negative attitude. Been there, done that. And finds negativity everywhere. So although I had lots of fabulous things, there was a whole bit of me that was negative as well. And I had to learn how to change my attitude. And I did that by courses, books, workshops, whatever I could get my hands on, borrowed tapes and things off people so that I could change the way that I think, so that I could get onto my journey and be that good mum that I wanted to be. So the traits of high self-esteem, the opposite of that, is develops transformational relationships. And that means that you get coaching and mentors. And most certainly for me, I've been doing that for probably 30 years as well. I mean, when I learned that I had low self-esteem, I was already at a course. I was at a workshop, albeit that it was a workshop for children's self-esteem, but we had to do the quiz for ourselves as parents, and I was a willing learner, and I've been learning ever since then. And the coaches and the mentors, you've probably heard of them, Dr. Joe Vitale, I've been to his workshops, John Assaraf over in the States, and quite a few other in the States, because to develop as a person and fulfill your dreams, those are the things that you have to do. So it's stepping outside your comfort zone, because inside your comfort zone isn't the real you. And that's actually the journey of life, just to keep spiraling up and up and up and up so that you are becoming the best version of yourself. So has anybody got any questions that you want some help with or answered? Okay. I think it's going in there. Okay, well, ladies, I hope you have found that really helpful. The way to improve your self-esteem is to actually try the thing that you're fearful of. Go outside of your comfort zone, and do the things that are uncomfortable, that are going to make you feel better. And even if it's, you know, like, I mean, I put on makeup every day because I feel better. I feel better. So that's what I'm looking to do, is to feel better. I wear clothes that I like because I feel better. I exercise because I feel better. And so you eat because you feel better, because, you know, I mean, ultimately it's you valuing yourself and respecting yourself enough that you want to be able to do those things to make yourself feel better. And nobody else is going to do it. It's your life, your journey. People will hang on to you, want you to look after them. But your job is to be able to create new boundaries so that you can balance those all together. Okay, so I've got no questions here. Thank you. Barbara says everything's clear, so that's wonderful. We've got a bit of wind here, my tinkling in the background. So I hope you've enjoyed that, ladies. Next week I'm going to do a Facebook Live. I think I'm going to be in my office Friday afternoon, which is your Thursday night, and we're going to do it about attitude and positive thinking and negative thinking and all that sort of thing. So I'll pop the link in on the Facebook success page. Put your questions up there if you want to. If you've got another question that you'd like an answer to, private message me and I can pop something in there. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Have a lovely evening, everybody, wherever you are. Most of you in the States and Canada and New Zealand here. And we'll catch up with you next week. Take care.